Once upon a land in a time far, far ago, there lived a man, a myth, a legend. And he was a trickster too.
Meet Dionysus. He's one hell of a god. He's god of everything wine-related for that matter. Oh, and also god of sex and festivities that may relate to said sex. And I've heard through the grapevine he throws rad parties. At least his mad cult followers think so. Meet Zeus. He's a really godly god. He's the king of gods too, and wields his lightning with electrifying power. These two gods have the rather close connection of father, Zeus, and son, Dionysus. But the story accompanying Dionysus' childhood doesn't come close to anything you can render in your mortal mind. Hence the puppets in this production to really illustrate what's going on here. Anyway, Zeus carries out a private affair with mortal woman Semele. Hera, Zeus's wife, catches wind of this development and, deciding she's just outright tired of killing Zeus's children and girlfriends, decides to spice things up with a disguise. Dressed as an old woman, she befriends Semele. Semele's chatting one day with her about love, Zeus, and all that jazz, casually mentioning she's pregnant. Hera, no doubt wishing she'd murdered this gal straight away, questions Semele on whether this fellow is the Zeus. I mean, like, some guys must just say, "Oh, I'm Zeus." But, yeah. So, old woman Hera asks Semele for proof to see Zeus in his true form. Next time Semele hung out with Zeus, she asked him to do the favor of proving his divinity by appearing in all of his godly glory.
Little did they know that this scheme of Hera's would burn Semele to death in the roar of a thunderbolt, for no mortal could ever endure the majesty of divine presence. Now they're dead, both Semele and her fetal son Dionysus.
Well, technically, Dionysus did die, but gods are gods. Zeus is probably like, "Dang, my kid died!" So he picked up the dead baby Dionysus. And Zeus is thinking, "Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll sew this kid into my balls so I can give this fellow a proper birth." Which he does. Moving on. Years later, Dionysus is a rather rambunctious Olympus child. He set out to become the successor of Zeus, in fact, as the king of the gods. So Hera, once realizing Dionysus is still living and prancing through Olympus, is like, "Dang, I wish I murdered him that first time." Her murderous tendencies get the best of her, and she sends Titans to tear him up. Dionysus was successfully torn apart into bits and consumed. Somehow those bloodthirsty Titans drop the heart or something, because lucky for Dionysus, again, he's saved by the gods. Athena saves his heart, and with Zeus's help, little Dionysus is reborn once more. Not too optimal though is that Dionysus had to be disguised as a girl and sent to his aunt and uncle Ino and Atmos to live in secret. Well, dang. Hera discovered this plan too and turned Dionysus into a ram. Now he's really confused about his identity and wanders through the world in confusion. This concludes Dionysus' upbringing. His trickster lifestyle that falls into effect pretty soon after. Now entering young adult life, Dionysus starts off by discovering how to make wine. Unexpectedly though, Hera discovers he's alive once more and strikes him with madness. He wanders around aimlessly then for quite a while. Rhea, the mother of Zeus, cures him of that madness later. He then sets out to teach everyone the way of the wine. He grows his cult of followers as he conquers the world. In Greece, he wishes to introduce his worship and drinking to the people despite protests from princes who dreaded its introduction. He's taking a stroll one day when suddenly he gets abducted by sailors because he looks like a hot prince they could make a profit on. But our god Dionysus knows how to dial the tricks to 11. He turns the mast and oars into snakes. He then fills the ship with the sound of flutes and not-so-friendly ivy, even turning into a lion himself. Most of the sailors find themselves in the ocean and turn to dolphins. Despite that dilemma, Dionysus continues to spread the word of wine. Somewhere along the way, he also gives Midas the golden touch. You know how that goes. It goes not well. Remember Dionysus' cult? They just get crazier over time. They've done weird things like recreating his death and rebirth. Crazy parties too, but yeah. The more high and drunk he got, the more he could tap into his powers. Even governments couldn't calm these guys. He was beginning to be more widely accepted in the reign of Athens' tyrant Pisistratus. The festival that tyrant started, Dionysia, honored Dionysus and his love of wine. It grew to include plays too, which developed into Greek theater later. Dionysus is a weird fellow. He ranges from having unrestrained drunken behavior to being a harmless wandering ram. He's definitely the textbook definition of a trickster who defies normal behavior. He also plays a few jokes, and is neither ultimately good nor bad. He's the trickster of Greek mythology who deserves more recognition today.